Sup, dog? I'm gonna teach you how to make a Skrillex bass. Are you ready? Yeah, be sure to like and subscribe. Check this out. That doesn't sound anything like what I was supposed to be watching. I'm gonna write the meanest comment ever.
What's good, everybody? My name is Alckemy. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about a problem that I have with how to sound like X artist or this artist or this artist or whatever. And I kind of just want to bring up a couple of points that might benefit the community in that aspect. I've received a lot of interesting messages over time that are both good and lots of negative over regarding certain things. And I think that it's not so much that anybody did anything wrong or anybody is at fault, but I think that it's really important to try to set the perspective of what each person or what each side of the story is going through. If you are a content creator, then I think that this video is for you, because this might help steer how you communicate messages towards your viewers who want to learn how to make sounds that you're making. If you are brand new to music, or if you're somebody that watches tutorials, I think that this is also something that's equally as important, because you should understand what a content creator goes through in order to make this content in the first place. I'm going to be talking about the issues that I have. I'm also going to be talking about the ways that I think that this can be fixed. I would also like to know your guys' thoughts regarding the situation. I'm more than open to a healthy discussion, but please stick around for the video, hear me out, and if you haven't already, then subscribe. The grind to 10K has been insane. It's been a grind, long story short. It's really important for me to say that before I get into, the perspective aspect of things, that these videos of how to sound like Skrillex, of how to sound like Cohen sound, all that stuff, they're actually incredibly important, and they are very useful to the community, both as a consumer and as a content creator. On one end, if you are brand new to music, what is the most likely thing you're going to Google whenever you start making music? How to sound like this person. Maybe the first thing is, how do I work Ableton, or how do I work this, or whatever. But more than likely, at some point in your career, you are going to say, how do I make this kind of bass that sounds like this person? How do I do that? And lo and behold, chances are, more than likely, there's someone on YouTube that has made a video for you. Now, what happens a lot of times within those experiences? Well, a couple of things. Either A, the person is exact, spot on, whatever. B, the person is not spot on, and the message they've conveyed is behind their persona of acting like it's close. C, there's a lot of misconception between both the viewer and the content creator about what messages are trying to be conveyed, and that leads to the biggest thing, which is confusion. And I think that confusion often leads to a lot of disrespect and a lot of hateful comments both ways, and that is what I'm hoping to avoid. So the first problem from the content creator side that I have with people making these kinds of videos is the idea that whenever you make a video like this, you're already putting yourself at a disadvantage. There is only one Cohen sound. There's only one Noisia. That's it. They are them for a reason, and no matter how hard you try or how close you get, you're never going to sound exactly like them. You might be able to get close, but it's also really important to keep in mind that the way that you hear a specific sound is in the context of a song. And when you listen to a sound by itself, it's not ever going to sound exactly the same. It's mixed differently. There's different movements. There's one little parameter that changes the whole thing. The issue that I have is a lot of times, and I've been guilty of this myself, but the issue that arises from that is that the message of what I just said isn't conveyed. It's not, hey, I'm not this person, this is my interpretation of the sound. And it seems like such a fundamental thing that I would imagine that would be pretty easy to grasp, but maybe not. I think that the expectations that people are having over this are like astronomically insane, which I'll talk more about in a second. There's only one of these artists, and whenever somebody takes their time to, mention these kinds of things, they're either one, just trying to express themselves in order to, hopefully show somebody a process, or two, they're trying to use their persona and their ego to say, hey, I can sound like this person, so you should watch my content, which I definitely disagree with. I almost rarely ever see that though, and that's not really even something that I need to go further into. The other side to this is that as a consumer, whenever you're watching videos, when you see a video that says how to Cohen sound bass, chances are your expectations whenever you watch that video are going to be expecting to, hear something that is extremely close or exact, if not. And a lot of times there is such this early stage of prejudice of whether you're even going to listen to the rest of the video or not based off of the sound that you hear. And a lot of times it's not even if it's good or bad. It's, does it sound like what I want, or does it not sound like what I want? It's good to know what you want. But I would urge you to, especially as a beginner, to stick around for the video, because a lot of times, even if the sound isn't exact, you can still learn an incredible amount from the process that this person is going through. The other thing as well is that a lot of times, like, I get these super fans that are just like, this is, how dare you even try to make a sound like this person and make it, you know, such and such and whatever, it's got to be so this and that, and now it's not exact, and you totally disrespected them by making this sound. And it's just like, whoa, hold on, let's get something straight. For one, if you didn't listen to what I just said about having an interpretation of a sound, please go back and revisit that aspect of the video. The second thing that I want to talk about is that it would go a really long way to show just a tiny bit of appreciation for your content creators, that they are trying to interpret the sound for you, that they're trying to remake the sound for you, that they're trying to show you a process of how to get as close as possible, and they're putting that information on the internet for free. We're all learning here. Nobody knows everything. And it seems, again, so fundamental, but it really upsets me to see people act and react in these particular ways over these specific things, just over something that they're so passionate about. I think that it's beautiful that people are really passionate over these artists, but you have to keep in mind that we're artists too. And for somebody to say that your interpretation sucks, well, on one end, you put it on YouTube, so you're under scrutiny. I get that. But two, how is that helpful to the community as a whole? How is that helpful towards, instead of saying, hey, you know, I think that if you did this or gave somebody an extra tip or something and exchanged information, opened up a discussion, opened up a conversation, that could lead to infinitely better possibilities. Your words to some people are very effective. They matter. Your opinions are heard, for content creators usually. Some people have thick skin. Some people are very sensitive about things. But just know that just because you are behind a keyboard, you know, typing whatever it is that you feel like saying, does not mean that they don't have any meaning behind them, or they don't have any feelings behind them. I am here as a content creator to try to make the community better and to make the community stronger, and I'm here to learn. I have a leadership role of teaching sound design. I've got over 200 videos of tutorials on how to do stuff. Myself and a lot of other people, you know, take a lot of their time out of their day to try to, you know, provide valuable information that they deem valuable. And whether you want to watch it or not, that's totally up to you. I just want you to be accountable for those kinds of things. The other aspect to that is that if you ignore those sounds, if you ignore those videos, you're totally missing out. Those processes are totally, like, you could be getting so much and you could be so close to hearing a sound, and maybe that video that you just watched isn't exactly what you wanted, but they gave you that tip of how to EQ, you know, your snare the right way, or how to, you know, modulate a node of gain or whatever, how to sweep frequencies or whatever to make a monster talking out of a bass. But because you're so stubborn in your ways, and because you're so like, this is it, it's either all or nothing, you've already lost out on that moment, and that helps nobody. So I've got two solutions, and it's going to take a village in order for this whole shebang to get better, in order to create or hopefully steer the idea about creating these how to artist videos in a better direction. The first aspect is on the content creator of conveying the message of saying, hey, I'm not this person, this is an interpretation, I am giving you an expression of what I feel is closer, what I hear whenever I listen to these artists, or what I like out of it, right? And in turn, hopefully that can reflect onto the consumer or the viewer of saying, hey, they're not trying to be these people, they're just trying to listen to the sounds that we're all inspired by. If something doesn't add up for whatever reason, start a discussion. Use your words in a way that's in a positive manner. I really don't understand why so many people are as negative as they can be in some of those aspects. Like, they're almost angry at the community, and I'm like why? Like, we're here to all get better. What do you have to lose? And how much in turn do you have to gain out of creating this? In essence, start a conversation, start a discussion, make the community better. Learning the process of how sounds are made in general is going to take you way further than how to make a specific sound. That's always been my approach to sound design. Watch any sound design tutorial that I have, regardless if it's a how-to artist or not. But once you understand that, like, you should also be keeping in mind that you need to be trying to make your own sounds, not how do I sound like, you know, this artist? How do I sound like this artist? Because all that stuff doesn't really matter. If you were trying to sound like them, then who are you really? Then you're losing yourself out of that aspect in the first place. I think that there's certain elements and stuff that we can use to drive us to create those own sounds, but you have to see the road far enough that eventually you need to steer off and start trying to express yourself in a way that speaks from you, not how do I get closer to this person or to this group or whatever. As a bonus tip, no matter how experienced we are, we're all still learning together. And I love to make videos. I love to make tutorials and talk about things and whatever. I will say that even though I don't get offended at some of the messages and stuff that you guys say, it definitely deters me from wanting to make this kind of content because I don't really want to confront or have to explain to somebody why my content matters. That's not fun for anybody. So let me know what you guys think. I think that it's really important for us to open up these doors and to have this just honest means of communication between each other, because for one, I know that I've made videos that are how to sound like this person, how to sound like this person, whatever. Maybe they're not the most accurate. It doesn't matter to me because that's my initial thing of this is an interpretation. For you guys, I hope that you've gained some value of both how to go about creating these videos and how to ingest these videos and how to get the most out of them, because it's still art. These videos are still art, right? Regardless of if we made a song out of the sound or whatever, we're explaining them, we're teaching them, we're expressing ourselves. And the more that we can respect that, I think the better that it's going to make the community as a whole. Thank you guys for listening to my lecture on these things. Let's have a discussion. I'll see you in the next one.